Breaking today, the very sad news that Thomas Markle continues to fight for his life in a hospital in the Philippines, awaiting more surgery. But his family has now confirmed the news. Family are angry. That angry with Meghan Markle.
While a man lies in a hospital bed thousands of miles from home, his daughter, one of the most famous women on the planet, is busy selling chocolate. Not just any man. Thomas Markle, the father who raised Meghan almost entirely on his own after her mother left, is now fighting for his life in a small hospital in the Philippines. His left leg has just been amputated. He's awake but weak, clinging to consciousness as his son sits beside him. And while all of that unfolds, his daughter, the same daughter who owes her start in life to his sacrifices, hasn't called. Not once. Pause for a second and picture that. A father who gave everything to see his daughter succeed. The long hours, the debt, the pride of watching her step into Hollywood, and now in his final years, he's alone, scared, and in pain. The kind of pain no parent should ever have to face, especially while knowing their child could reach out, yet chooses not to. And what is Meghan doing during all this? Posting about her new limited edition chocolate bars. Raise the chocolate bar on giving. Her caption reads, polished, curated, sparkling with PR gloss. The timing couldn't have been worse. The email blast promoting her latest brand deal landed in inboxes, just as the world learned her father's leg had been amputated. It's one of those moments that stops people cold. Because it's not just bad optics. It feels heartless. This is the man who helped pay for her acting classes, who took her to her first auditions, who worked overtime on television sets to keep food on the table. The man who once said, "My only wish before I die is to meet my grandkids." And now he's in a hospital bed, half a world away, waiting for a miracle, while his daughter markets chocolate bars. People are asking the question no PR team can spin. How can someone preach compassion, kindness, and family, yet ignore her own father's cry for help? But what makes this story even more disturbing is what she did next. The news broke quietly at first. A few whispers online, a couple of cautious updates from family members who didn't want to believe it was true. But then came confirmation. Thomas Markle's left leg had been amputated. It started with pain, then swelling. Within hours, his foot turned blue, then black. Doctors told his son, "There's no option. It's life or death." Thomas Jr. rushed him to a small hospital in the Philippines, terrified. Scans, blood work, chaos. And then, the words no family wants to hear, "We have to remove the leg." Now, imagine hearing that about your father, that the man who taught you everything, who sacrificed for you, might not live through the night. Thomas Jr. later told reporters, "My dad has been very brave. It happened fast. One day, his foot was hurting. The next day, they said the leg had to come off." Meanwhile, as the family faced the kind of nightmare no one prepares for, silence filled the space where Meghan's voice should have been. No phone call. No message. No statement of concern. Nothing. Instead, her team was hitting send, blasting out glossy marketing emails to promote her American Riviera Orchard products. An email that read, "Raise the chocolate bar on giving, curated by Meghan." The words landed in inboxes worldwide, the same day her father's amputation story made headlines. The irony was almost too cruel to believe. While her father's leg was gone, her campaign message talked about giving. While her family begged for help, she was selling luxury chocolate for the holidays. Even those who once defended her were speechless. The timing was brutal. The optics? Devastating. It wasn't just bad PR, it felt inhuman. Because in that moment, it didn't matter how famous she was or how carefully she crafted her image. What mattered was that a daughter ignored a father's cry for help, and the world noticed. And that's when the anger began. Not from tabloids, not from critics, from her own blood. The silence didn't last long. Because while Meghan stayed quiet, her family didn't. It began with a single post, a few brutal words from her half-sister, Samantha Markle, who wrote on X, formerly Twitter, "GFY Meg." 3 letters that said everything. 3 letters filled with rage, heartbreak, and years of resentment boiling over. Then came Thomas Markle Jr., the son who's been caring for their father full-time in the Philippines. His voice cracked with exhaustion and fury when he confirmed the news publicly. "My dad has been very brave," he said. His foot turned blue, then black. "I rushed him to the hospital. They said the leg had to come off. There was no option. Life or death." He's been paying hospital bills out of his own pocket, using what's left of their father's savings. Meanwhile, across the ocean, Meghan's team is writing captions about artisanal chocolate and giving season cheer. To Thomas Jr., it felt like a slap in the face. So, he did what millions of hurt people do. He spoke out online. On his YouTube channel, Thomas Markle Jr. and Friends, he released a furious message aimed directly at his famous sister. His words were raw, unfiltered, and dripping with anger. He accused Meghan of being fake, cold, and cruel, saying she turned her back on the man who made her who she is. "You're a disgrace to our family name," he said. "You don't even deserve the title of daughter. You've abandoned Dad when he needs you most." You could hear the pain between every line, because beneath the anger wasn't just hatred, it was heartbreak. A son, desperate to save his father. A sister, begging for empathy that never comes. A family, fractured beyond repair. And that's when the comments exploded. People from all over the world flooded social media, some defending Meghan, others furious with her silence. But the one question no one could shake was simple. How can a daughter ignore her dying father? The anger from the Markles wasn't about fame, or money, or publicity. It was about something deeper, that primal ache every child feels when their parent is slipping away. They weren't asking for apologies. They were begging for humanity. But Meghan's silence didn't break. Not even after the world saw the hospital photos or read her brother's heartbreaking statement. Instead, she kept posting, smiling, promoting, curating her brand. And for Samantha and Thomas Jr., that silence said it all. But here's what makes it even more painful. This isn't the first time Meghan has gone silent when her family needed her most. To understand why Meghan's silence now feels so cruel, you have to go back, long before the royal wedding, long before the palace drama, to the moment when she began erasing her own father from her life. Because this didn't happen overnight. It's a wound that's been quietly bleeding for years. Back when Meghan first started dating Prince Harry, her father was still proud, excited, and endlessly supportive. He told friends he couldn't wait to walk her down the aisle. But when the spotlight grew brighter, something changed. Meghan stopped calling as often. The conversations turned cold. And slowly, she drifted away. By the time her wedding day arrived, the man who'd paid for her acting lessons and carried her dreams on his back was nowhere to be seen. Officially, it was because of health issues. But behind the scenes, the distance had already hardened into silence. And then came the leak. A series of letters, interviews, and tabloid headlines that shattered whatever fragile bridge still existed between them. Meghan accused her father of betrayal for speaking to the press. He claimed he just wanted to defend himself from lies. It spiraled fast. But the moment that broke, everything wasn't public. It was private. According to Palace aides, Meghan's own team described her father as dead to her. Those exact words, "He's dead to her." Cold. Final. No room for reconciliation. Thomas Markle, meanwhile, never stopped hoping. He told interviewers again and again, "My only wish before I die is to meet my grandchildren." He didn't ask for money or fame, just a phone call. Just a moment of recognition from the daughter he once called his little flower. Years passed. Strokes, heart attacks, hospital stays. Still nothing. No call. No letter. Not even through Harry, a man who, to this day, has never met his own father-in-law. And that's the part that breaks people's hearts. Because Meghan built an entire brand around kindness and compassion, yet somehow forgot that compassion starts at home. The world saw her hugging strangers, supporting charities, and speaking about forgiveness. But to the man who raised her alone, silence. Even now, as Thomas lies in a hospital bed missing a leg, his last wish hasn't changed. He still wants to meet his grandkids. He still believes maybe one day she'll reach out. But the truth is painful. Maybe that call will never come. Maybe the distance isn't about miscommunication or bad press. Maybe it's about pride, resentment, or something darker that's been brewing for years. And yet, something about this moment feels different. Because for the first time, it's not just a family feud, it's a public reckoning. Even people who once defended Meghan are starting to ask, how far can someone go before protecting your peace becomes just another word for cruelty? But as shocking as her silence is, it's her timing that truly set the internet on fire. When the news of Thomas Markle's amputation broke, the internet erupted. At first, it was disbelief. People assumed it had to be a rumor, another exaggerated headline. But when family members confirmed it, shock turned into outrage. Everywhere you looked, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, people were saying the same thing. How can she stay silent? Even her longtime defenders started to shift. For years, Meghan's narrative had been one of compassion, empathy, and empowerment. She was the woman who spoke about kindness, who cried on television about the toll of being misunderstood. But this time, the story didn't fit the image. Because while her father was recovering from life-saving surgery, Meghan's brand was busy selling luxury chocolate bars. "Raise the chocolate bar on giving," the email said. The tagline, meant to sound clever and wholesome, suddenly felt like a cruel joke. Screenshots flooded social media, paired with the headlines about Thomas Markle's hospital stay. People called it tone-deaf. Others said it was beyond heartless. A few even joked bitterly that the bars must be dark chocolate, since her sense of timing certainly was. For a woman known for micromanaging every detail of her brand, from fonts to flower arrangements, no one believed this was a coincidence. And as the backlash grew, something even more bizarre surfaced. A viral post claimed Meghan's new chocolate packaging wasn't entirely original, that she'd allegedly copied King Charles's coronation invitation design. Whether intentional or not, it looked bad, another sign of poor judgment at a time when she desperately needed good press. It was the perfect storm. One moment, the world was mourning her father's health crisis. The next, it was mocking her cottagecore chocolate empire. Even PR experts began weighing in. Some said it was one of the worst public image missteps she'd made since the infamous Oprah interview aired during Prince Philip's illness. To them, it wasn't just bad optics, it was emotional tone-deafness on a global scale. And yet, through it all, Meghan didn't say a word. No statement, no tweet, no acknowledgement. Silence. For someone who once talked about her voice being her superpower, the quiet was deafening. But behind that silence, rumors started to swirl that even Prince Harry himself knew how damaging this looked. That he was quietly urging Meghan to pick up the phone before it was too late. While Meghan stayed silent, Prince Harry reportedly didn't. Behind the scenes, sources say he's been quietly, but firmly, urging her to reach out to her father. According to one insider, Harry knows estrangement. He made peace with his dad. Now he wants Meghan to have the same chance. Another source added, he's been saying, "Don't wait. Do it now." This isn't about headlines, it's about family. It's almost poetic, in a tragic way. The man who once cut off his own royal relatives is now begging his wife to mentors. And yet, she doesn't move. Harry's friends say he understands regret better than anyone. He's seen how quickly time runs out, how pride can turn into guilt when it's too late to say sorry. He reconciled with King Charles after years of tension, finally finding some peace after Queen Elizabeth's death. But Meghan? She's still holding her ground, frozen behind a wall of silence that's been building since the royal wedding. Some insiders believe Harry's gentle approach might not be enough. One close contact told a royal reporter, he's walking on eggshells. He doesn't want another fight. But he also knows how bad this looks. Even he can see it. Because no matter how you spin it, the optics are brutal. The daughter refuses to call. The father fights for his life. And the world is watching, wondering if her silence is strength or just indifference. Behind closed doors, Harry has reportedly been torn, wanting to protect Meghan, but unable to ignore the headlines. And while he's spent years defending her against criticism, even he must realize that this moment is different. This isn't gossip. This isn't a royal feud. This is life and death. Still, Meghan stays quiet. No phone call. No public statement. Just more brand posts, more products, more smiles that seem increasingly hollow with every passing day. Even Harry's attempts to repair her image are starting to feel desperate. He's appeared more often in interviews, trying to project a calmer, happier version of their life. But critics say the damage is done, that people see right through it now. Because this isn't just about family anymore. It's about image. It's about reputation. And it's about what happens when a carefully crafted brand of compassion collides with reality. For the first time, even Harry's loyalty seems tested. As one commentator put it bluntly, you can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved. And Harry's starting to realize that. But Meghan's silence hasn't only hurt her, it's reignited something else. The world's fascination with the royal divide. And this time, the backlash isn't confined to Meghan. It's reaching Harry too. As the silence from Montecito dragged on, the ripple effects started to spread, not just through Meghan's family, but through the entire royal conversation online. What began as sympathy for Thomas Markle soon turned into a reckoning for the Sussex brand itself. For years, Meghan and Harry have walked a careful line, part humanitarian couple, part celebrity power duo. But after this, that balance began to crack. People started asking the hard questions. Was all that talk about compassion ever real? Was healing just another marketing slogan? Even longtime supporters of the couple, people who once defended them through every headline, began to waver. One former fan posted, I believed in Meghan's message about kindness. But how can someone talk about empathy while ignoring their own father's suffering? Across social media, the tone shifted from admiration to cynicism. Every Instagram post she made, no matter how innocent, was flooded with comments referencing her dad. Call your father. Chocolate over compassion. Forgiveness starts at home. It became a chorus she couldn't drown out. Meanwhile, over in the UK, royal commentators were already connecting the dots. To them, this wasn't just another PR misstep, it was proof that the Sussexes had lost touch with reality. One commentator even said, "The royal family doesn't need to respond. Meghan is destroying her own reputation one silence at a time." And while Meghan stayed quiet, Harry made things worse, unintentionally. Because while the family drama was still unfolding, he appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, joking, smiling, and making casual digs about the monarchy. To viewers, the timing felt off. To critics, it was unforgivable. The same week his father-in-law lost a leg, Harry was on national television laughing with a host known for mocking the Princess of Wales. It was a perfect storm of bad optics. And the public noticed everything. Some viewers pointed out Harry's dilated pupils in the interview, sparking endless speculation online about his health, his stress, and his choices. Others focused on the hypocrisy. He talks about family reconciliation while sitting next to a man who insulted his own sister-in-law. One viewer wrote, "It wasn't just gossip anymore. It was disgust." And within royal circles, whispers began to grow louder. Insiders reportedly said King Charles was deeply saddened by Harry's behavior but refused to engage. Prince William, on the other hand, was said to be furious, tired of the endless media circus that always seemed to follow his brother's name. For the palace, this was no longer about image. It was about damage control. And yet, in the middle of all this chaos, Meghan seemed unfazed. No statements, no apologies, just curated photos, polished captions, and that unbreakable smile that now felt different. Colder, calculated. Even former royal aides, people who used to work behind palace walls, started breaking their silence. One source described her as obsessed with optics, blind to empathy. Another said, "Every crisis is a chance to sell something." It sounds cruel, but the more she ignored the growing storm, the more believable it became. The truth is, Meghan's silence has never been quiet. It speaks volumes. And this time, the echoes are reaching the very institution she tried to escape. But the question now isn't just about reputation. It's about redemption, and whether it's even possible. Because for the first time, both Meghan and Harry are discovering that public sympathy has an expiration date, and they may have finally run out of time. At first, people thought this was just another family feud, another chapter in the endless Markle drama. But the more you look at it, the more it feels like something bigger. Because this isn't just about one bad decision, one missed phone call, or one poorly timed chocolate promotion. It's about a pattern. A pattern that's followed Meghan Markle from the moment she entered public life. Controversy, silence, and self-promotion. Each time the story changes, the characters change, but the ending always feels the same. Think back to the Oprah interview. The world stopped to watch two people speak their truth. But what many forget is that it aired just as Prince Philip lay dying in a hospital bed. Even back then, the timing sparked outrage. How could they do this now? Yet, the Sussexes insisted it wasn't intentional. Then came the Netflix series, a 6-part rebranding of pain and privilege. It aired while the royal family was still grieving the Queen. Once again, Meghan and Harry took center stage in their own tragedy, and the same question surfaced. Why now? And now, with her father fighting for his life, she's back in headlines. Not for compassion, not for reconciliation, but for marketing chocolate. It's almost cinematic how these moments align, every milestone of her brand shadowed by someone else's suffering. And yet, time after time, she stays silent, letting her team handle the fallout. But silence isn't strategy. It's avoidance. And eventually, avoidance becomes identity. Because here's the truth. Meghan Markle has built a career on controlling the narrative. Every post, every photo, every soundbite, crafted, edited, perfected. But life doesn't work like PR. You can't control human empathy. You can't script sincerity. People are starting to see that. They see the disconnect between her words and her actions, between compassion and commerce. And it's breaking the illusion she's worked so hard to build. Even Hollywood insiders are noticing. A few have quietly admitted that Meghan's team is struggling to repair the damage. The public's emotional fatigue is setting in. You can only cry misunderstood so many times before people stop listening. What's happening now feels like a turning point, not just for Meghan, but for how celebrity culture itself works. Because her story exposes something uncomfortable about modern fame, that empathy, authenticity, and morality have all become currencies, things to trade, post, and sell. And once the world starts questioning your sincerity, it's almost impossible to earn it back. Still, there's one haunting detail that overshadows it all. While Meghan continues her carefully curated silence, her father's condition remains critical. And if he doesn't make it, if he passes without ever hearing his daughter's voice again, no amount of brand deals, PR statements, or elegant apologies will erase that truth. Because at the end of every headline, every controversy, every exclusive, there's still a man who just wanted to hear from his child, and a daughter who never called. In the end, all the noise, the interviews, the headlines, the PR, the products, it all fades. What's left is something painfully simple. A father, lying in a hospital bed, missing a leg, and a daughter who still hasn't called. Somewhere in that small hospital room in the Philippines, Thomas Markle opens his eyes to the sound of machines beeping. His son sits beside him, tired, worried, trying to stay strong. There are no reporters there. No lights. No photo ops. Just silence. The kind of silence that feels heavier than words. And on the other side of the world, Meghan's world spins on brand launches, Instagram posts, elegant photo shoots, the image of perfection. But no matter how carefully you polish the outside, some things still shine through. Because the truth has a way of catching up, even when you're trying to outrun it. Maybe this was never really about fame or family drama. Maybe it's about something every person understands, the ache of regret. That quiet moment when you realize you waited too long to say the words that mattered. And maybe one day Meghan will feel that too. Maybe she'll look back and realize that the things she built, the money, the brand, the followers, were never worth more than a single phone call. Because at the end of it all, no one remembers your sponsorships. No one remembers the press releases or the hashtags. They remember whether you showed up when it mattered. Forgiveness isn't sold in gift boxes. Compassion doesn't come with a brand logo. And no matter how powerful your platform is, you can't raise the bar on giving. If you've forgotten how to give love, maybe it's too late for apologies. Maybe not. But one thing's certain, silence can be louder than any scandal. And for Meghan Markle, that silence is echoing louder than ever.